favourite cameras of all time is the Bronica ETRS, and I have spoken about this camera before, and it is one of my most viewed videos. However, it has an issue. It's a 6 by 4.5 negative medium format film, and this is the race, so you look down through this viewfinder here. But if you want to use it landscape, it's straightforward, that's landscape. But portrait, I can't see. So it is pretty useless for a portrait camera. But landscape, super. However, there is an answer to this. You can get a Prism, and the Prism absolutely transforms the camera. But to use the Prism, you first of all have to take the handle off and use a grip. Now, this grip, you can use the Prism without, but the grip makes all the difference. And I actually obtained a grip years ago with another Bronica. I bought one Bronica, I bought an auction lot that just happened to include yet another Bronica, but it had a grip. So to put on the grip, you take out the little pin here to release the handle, put the handle in a safe place, keep the pin in, because when we put the grip on and we want to slide the grip on by, so slot it in and then move the handle so it grips in here. So that is the handle on beautifully. Now to put the Prism on, there's a small button here. I press the button. Now the Prism here, there's several Prisms available. Some are metered and some aren't. This is a metered Prism, which is going to transform the camera. I had been looking for one of these for a long time, and I was at Photographica and I asked one of the stall holders, and he said, oh yes, I've got one here, but I don't know if it works. It's definitely visually works, but it has got an artifact in it that is a mark in the Prism, but it will certainly do what you want, because I wasn't too bothered about having a metered version. So I got it home, cleaned up the contacts, put it on the camera, and it sort of slides on like so. And I was absolutely transformed by it. The camera is transformed, because if I half press that there, I suddenly get a display. Now, if I have it on manual mode here, there, and I press this, so press the shutter slightly, and I get an indication of 16 here, of 30, which is saying to me that the shutter speed for when I'm on 2.8 in this room should be 30. So that is using it in manual mode. Basically, you set the aperture to what you want, and then when you half press, the display will tell you the shutter speed. Now, if I put it on A, it suddenly becomes aperture priority. Imagine that, a medium format camera which is aperture priority at a reasonable price. So I half press the shutter, and it says here, because I put it to 5.6, it says it's going to be a second in this room. So I like using a camera manually. I'm happy to use a camera manually, but I must say it is very, very nice when you've actually got a meter built in the camera, and the opportunity that if you want to, you can actually have it on aperture priority and almost use it like a point and shoot. Obviously you still have to focus, but once you've set your aperture, the camera automatically sets the shutter speed. So, plus the grip. Look, it's so easy to hold like that. So now if I want to do a portrait mode, I can do really, really easily. So I've suddenly got, you see the difference? Incredible. But it's only incredible if it works. Well, since I got the Prism, I've used this camera quite a bit without actually checking that it worked. But today I developed a couple of films, and let's see the results. Some years ago I started a project where I was photographing what are called finger posts, and these are signposts of particularly to Dorset, where you've got a grid reference in the circle at the top. And I'm slightly fascinated or obsessed by these, and it was nice to go out. But this, you can see, is Dorchester High Street taken in portrait mode, which I couldn't do on the Bronica before, or with great difficulty. Now I can do it simply. And here's an interesting old lamppost, which was actually once a gas lamppost, I suspect, just around the corner from where I live. And here's was a telephone box, and again I've been able to photograph it in portrait mode. So, and finally, just one last week of lots of roadworks they're doing in Dorchester. Very pleased with the metering and the ease of use of the Bronica. Going to use it lots. Thanks for watching. Bye.